So the next session will be detecting GPS spoofing incidents for autonomous vehicles using deep neural network. And we are going to invite Dr. Barak Or, who is the founder and the CTO and CEO of MetaOr. So Barak, please.
Hello, and thank you for the late hour. Like this is almost 4, tough time. My name is Barak, and I'm going to speak about GPS, like more or less no GPS or someone that want to make some GPS spoofing issue. And the work name is detecting GPS spoofing incidents for autonomous vehicle that we still don't have any autonomous vehicle, but we are on the way. And you can imagine that autonomous vehicle is also a quadcopter, AUV, submarines, and more. So each one of those moving body can suffer from those kind of attacks with GPS spoofing. This work was supported by the Israel Cyber Center for the Intelligence Transportation System, the CITES, if you know, familiar, and this is owned by the Israel aerospace industry, so this is a co-work. And you know what, before I will present, I will give a word about myself. Currently in Israel, I'm serving as academic director in Google for AI and deep learning courses. So this is with Reichman University, and I give a lot of consulting and courses for the last 3 years in Israel aerospace industry, LB system, military, and more. So like this is really AI summer. Okay, what happened the last 1 year, even out of the 3 years and the 10 years. So it's fascinating to see that even cyber, which is a hot topic, and AI come together, which is a huge combination. Moreover, for the last 3 years, I founded a startup company named Alma Technologies, raised about $3 million, which the issue was only to solve the problem of navigation without GPS to smartphone. So those of you that live in Haifa and North knows that I'm personally from Haifa, so you can imagine what is to get from an iPhone, for example. You have the memory video that like the last one was like my last 8 months in Lebanon with my kids and entire family, so it's a little bit weird. And about Walt and those kind of issues, but sometimes it's really not cool. You just want to go from A to B, and you come to C, you got me? So it's not so cool. You just want to go to Haifa and come to the Krayot. I grew up in the Krayot, so it's okay. So I will start, and I hope that it will not be with a lot of theory, but I will start with the background about what GPS navigation is, and the dependency for autonomous vehicle, which eventually will be here, and about the GPS spoofing issue for cyber security challenges. Then I will jump a bit into one of the fascinating model in unsupervised learning, the autoencoder, and in those days, with the generative AI, we'll speak a bit about variational autoencoder. And I will hope that I will cover a bit of potential use in an aerial system and sum up. So the dependency currently on GPS and navigation generally and AV specifically will be in the scope of tracking. Okay, just want to know X and Y or latitude, longitude, anyway, anywhere, all the time. So this is real-time tracking. This is the most important property. For AV or not necessarily cars, I will tend to prevent collision. Okay, I will maintain to do collision avoidance, and eventually the emergency response is also one of those critical aspects for using correctly with the GPS when the accuracy is okay. So anyone knows what is the currently accuracy of GPS when everything is fine, like more or less, yeah. About 3 meters or 3 square meters, yeah. So more or less, like if anyone tell you that is at the right position in some, for example, for autonomous, some lane, so 3 meters right or left, so it's not so cool. It's a little bit dangerous, even those 3 meters. So just imagine what happens if someone play with those signals. So the dependency is critical for AV, and if someone wants to make an attack, the only thing that you need to do is to make some spoofing, so spoofing incident. And spoofing is the process where, for example, this kind of device, this one is made by Gemini, ChatGPT, but it seems like anyone can order this for about $20 by Alibaba or some other website. And it's not cool because once you put it next to GPS receiver, then it's really harness it in a not good manner because you can mimic some legitimate GPS data. So if you're in Tel Aviv and the GPS shows you that you are in Lebanon or Miami, let's put some good places like Miami, then it's okay, like no problem, then I can distinguish between those places. But if someone says you are now in Tel Aviv and after 10 minutes in Netanya or Herzliya and then Netanya, a traffic jam, and then like after 1 hour Haifa, so I can believe, so I'm moving. But if suddenly I see that there is someone that's gonna take me, kind of drift, kind of performing, attacking in the way that I will not pay too much attention and I find myself in some weird place, then this is not cool, and this is the kind of attack that we want to detect. So today what's happening is you can use some encryption, okay, some encryption authentication to secure GPS signal. You can use some protocol and make sure that the right receiver get the right provided coordinate. Okay, this is more or less what you do, but advanced spoofing can closely mimic those signals and can bypass those encryptions. So this is where we are, and also you can implement some redundant navigation system. For example, you can navigate using other sensors, for example, camera visions, and sometimes it even works. But still, like, even then, those systems can be spoofed, and you need to have some sophisticated solution, sophisticated enough so you will not distinguish. This is what happened. So this solution or the motivation for this suggested solution was to use from AI, let's do down there. So AI, machine learning, deep learning, specifically unsupervised autoencoder for GPS spoofing detection, meaning that I can travel about 2 hours. This is what we did, 2 hours with car, and record the GPS that I receive and label it as normal. And then means that if I will have a model that believes himself and trusts that this is how a signal needs to be, okay, I mean a real signal, a normal one, then if any anomaly will appear, then he will distinguish it. So this was the assumption, and this is how autoencoder works. So we focus on GPS navigation patterns of cars, okay, only for cars for a second, and we model, the model is trained exclusively on data sets of normal GPS, okay? Only normal GPS, and we test it with abnormal or anomaly. So in real-world operation, you want to use autoencoders, those deep learning models, in continuously manner so you can monitor any incoming GPS signal about the last 2 seconds, the last 10 seconds, something like that, and react very fast if you detect any anomaly. Once you deviate from the pattern of the autoencoder, then you can consider the result as spoofing. So what those autoencoders are? So the autoencoders can detect those unusual changes. So those artifacts, if the autoencoder wants to reconstruct any signal that income to the architecture, then if he will see kind of abnormal, some anomaly, then he will make it very difficult for him to reconstruct the signal. So the error will be huge sometimes. And let's consider for a second the 4 hours driving with car in Israel. And again, this is just a POC demonstration. So it means that we include various speed. The graph on the right presents car speed in kilometer per hour, or no, I think that this is a meter per second. So it means that we travel from 0 to about 40 meter per second. So we travel with different speed, various locations. You can see the coordinate here. This is the real one, yeah, 32, 34. Of you knows those the coordinates of Israel, and we record those correct and normal GPS signal, various speed, various location, various car, highway, in city, all of those. And then we take additional 2 hours and manipulate those signals. So you can see in green that we took part of the records or part of every example and put some noise. And those noise try to mimic kind of spoofing attack. And as I mentioned, it's only 2 hours, okay? And in order to build a product, something which with a lot of trust, then we need to have a lot of examples and a lot of car driving. And even if you have Tesla, like it's too much time to drive. So what we did is using variation autoencoder. The issue was we have latent space regularization. We can follow some distributions, so we can estimate the correct distribution, continuous one that corresponding to the normal GPS. We have the generative capabilities in the sense of we sample from latent space distribution, so we have much more example eventually, and we have some uncertainty quantification, so we know what example that we generate, what examples are legitimate. So what we did after training the autoencoder model, we put an example inside, we get an MSE loss, and then we have some threshold. If we are above this threshold, we detect those signal as anomaly. So the GPS signal will be anomaly. If we are below this threshold, then this signal is normal one. So about this car driving over 4 hours in Israel, we got an accuracy of 27.9%, which is like to say almost 100. Just kidding, we have a way to pass until then. But what I want you to see is in this image. All the black colors corresponding to the spoofing GPS, and all the blue ones below responding to the normal GPS, and we have a red line almost separated in a good separation, but yeah, you see that there is some blue here, but more or less for 27.9% of the time we have good separation, so there is the results of the variation autoencoder. I just want to give some historical perspective. If someone remember this, it was like December 2011. Does anyone remember this incident of the Iran-USA RQ-170 incident? It was like very fascinating, I think, scientific speaking, because it was. We'll put here some. I put some text here from Wikipedia. Actually, it was like Iran followed up by a GPS spoofing attack. They took a UAV and put it above American UAV and just misled the American UAV with false GPS signal. So they just took him and followed it into a land in Iran and not in the home base of the American place. So the issue is that no one detects this spoofing, and if someone can detect this spoofing, then you can respond, and this is kind of motivation also for potential use in aerial systems. So to sum up, we spoke about GPS vulnerabilities in navigation, but navigation and cyber together, and we put the GPS spoofing as the main concern. The approach was to learn the normal GPS patterns to identify anomalies using the VAE, the variational autoencoder, and further research and development, because we're going to develop it, I hope so, include some advanced real time. So you want to make sure that you react in real time and not after 10 seconds where the car will crash into something. That's all. So thanks for listening. Thanks for the opportunity. We have 2 minutes, so question or questions, please. for all of them together. Question was if we learn for each car, for each person, for each driver, meaning the GPS patterns, distribution, and the answer is no. You build one model to take them all. Yeah, yes. The novelty is like you can create some patterns that the cars never traveled into. So this is the meaning. It's like just to make less driving. That's all, driving. And yes, please. No, the test data was real, okay, real data that we collected for real car. We didn't generate it, but we add those noise characteristics in order to detect it. So this is the way we tested the model. Sure.
Maybe we'll stop this because we want to keep the time, but at the coffee you are invited to ask more. Great, so thank you very much, Barak.